2,000 years ago, a group of philosophers uncovered secrets to thriving in chaos. Secrets that work even better today. While empires rose and fell, they mastered the art of unshakable resilience. Now, in a world of burnout, distraction, and constant pressure, their 12 timeless lessons are your survival toolkit. This isn't just philosophy, it's mental armor forged by Marcus Aurelius on battlefields, Seneca in exile, and Epictetus in chains. By the end of this video, you'll know how to turn obstacles into fuel, fear into focus, and chaos into clarity. Let's begin. 1. Control what you can, accept what you can't. The foundation of Stoicism rests on the idea that we should only focus on what is within our control and accept what lies beyond it. Epictetus taught that our judgments, choices, and actions are within our power, while external events, other people's actions, and even our own reputations are not. When we direct our energy toward what we can influence, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. By embracing this principle, we cultivate a mindset of inner peace. Instead of being consumed by frustration over circumstances beyond our reach, we develop resilience. The key is learning to differentiate between what we can and cannot change. This way, we avoid wasting time on futile worries and instead focus on improving ourselves. Applying this principle means practicing mindfulness in everyday situations. If a flight gets delayed, instead of fuming, we can use the extra time to read, reflect, or plan. When faced with criticism, we can separate the useful feedback from the noise and choose our response wisely. The ability to distinguish between control and acceptance is a superpower that leads to a more fulfilling life. 2. Perception shapes reality. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our perception of them. The way we interpret and respond to life's challenges determines our experience of reality. If we frame difficulties as insurmountable obstacles, they will feel overwhelming. But if we view them as opportunities for growth, they become stepping stones to wisdom. This perspective shift empowers us to navigate hardships with grace. When encountering adversity, we can ask, what lesson does this offer? By choosing to reframe negative situations in a constructive light, we transform suffering into strength. For example, a career setback might initially seem like a failure, but it can also be the catalyst for a better opportunity. A personal loss, while painful, can deepen our appreciation for the present. When we train ourselves to see situations objectively, we free ourselves from unnecessary distress and gain clarity. The stories we tell ourselves shape our emotional state, and by adjusting our narrative, we take control of our well-being. 3. Adversity builds strength. Seneca famously said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Stoicism teaches that hardship is not something to be feared, but embraced as an essential part of growth. Just as muscles grow through resistance, our character is forged through adversity. Instead of avoiding challenges, we should welcome them as tests of our resilience. Every difficulty presents an opportunity to cultivate patience, courage, and wisdom. Hardships reveal our true selves and push us beyond our perceived limits. Think of a blacksmith forging steel. The repeated exposure to fire and hammering strengthens the metal. Likewise, the trials we endure shape us into more capable individuals. When we shift our mindset to see obstacles as necessary for development, we no longer resist them, but embrace them as part of the journey toward excellence. In practice, this means actively seeking discomfort in controlled ways. Exercising discipline, Fasting or voluntarily taking on difficult tasks prepares us for life's unpredictable hardships. By training ourselves to endure discomfort, we build a mental fortitude to withstand greater challenges with composure. Fourth, virtue is the highest good for Stoics. The ultimate goal of life is to cultivate virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. External achievements, wealth, or status are secondary to living a life of moral integrity. No amount of success is worthwhile if it compromises our character. Living virtuously means aligning our actions with reason and ethical principles. Instead of seeking external validation, we should strive to be good for its own sake. This commitment to virtue brings true fulfillment, independent of external circumstances. A person who prioritizes virtue remains steadfast in the face of temptation. They choose honesty over deceit, fairness over greed, and discipline over indulgence. By focusing on what truly matters, our character, we free ourselves from the endless pursuit of fleeting pleasures and find deeper meaning in life. To apply this, we must constantly reflect on our actions. Are our decisions guided by wisdom? Do we act with courage in difficult situations? Do we practice fairness and self-control? Making virtue our compass ensures that we live with integrity and inner peace, regardless of external conditions. 5. Memento mori. Remember you will die. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is contemplating mortality. Remembering that life is finite urges us to live with purpose and urgency. The inevitability of death is not meant to induce fear, but to serve as a reminder to focus on what truly matters. Many people waste time on trivial concerns, assuming they have endless tomorrows. But when we acknowledge our mortality, we become more present, appreciative, and intentional in our actions. This mindset shift helps us overcome procrastination. If today were our last day, would we still delay pursuing our dreams? Would we waste time on petty grievances? The awareness of death encourages us to live fully, love deeply, and act courageously. Applying this means making the most of each moment. Express gratitude, mend broken relationships, and focus on meaningful pursuits. Instead of fearing death, we should use it as motivation to live a life worth remembering. 6. Amor fati, love your fate. Nietzsche, influenced by Stoicism, described the concept of amor fati, loving one's fate. It is not enough to merely accept life's events. We should embrace them wholeheartedly, recognizing that every experience contributes to our growth. Instead of resisting reality, we can choose to see everything that happens as necessary and beneficial in some way. Even misfortunes hold hidden lessons. By loving our fate, we turn obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones. When we adopt this attitude, we become unshakable. We no longer see life as something happening to us, but as something happening for us. The disappointments, losses, and hardships we face are all part of our unique journey, shaping us into the person we are meant to become. In practice, this means fully embracing each moment without wishing things were different. It requires trust that everything, even adversity, serves a purpose. By loving our fate, we cultivate gratitude and resilience, turning life's unpredictability into an ally rather than an enemy. 7. Speak little, listen more. Epictetus advised, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Wisdom comes not from talking, but from observing, reflecting, and understanding. The more we listen, the more we learn. Resisting the urge to dominate conversations allows us to gain new insights and avoid unnecessary conflicts. Silence is a powerful tool. It demonstrates patience, humility, and self-control. When we listen intently, we show respect and strengthen our relationships. Applying this lesson means practicing mindful communication. Instead of rushing to respond, we should pause, process, and choose our words carefully. Often, the wisest course of action is to say nothing at all. By speaking less and listening more, we cultivate deeper understanding and wisdom. 8. The power of perception. Our experiences in life are shaped not by external events, but by how we perceive and interpret them. This fundamental Stoic principle reminds us that reality is filtered through our own judgments. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." The Stoics teach that we should be vigilant over our perceptions. When we encounter difficulty, we must ask ourselves, is this truly bad, or is it simply my interpretation? A missed opportunity, a rejection, or a loss may seem disastrous at first, but if we reframe these experiences, they can become lessons, catalysts for growth, or even blessings in disguise. To apply this in daily life, we must challenge negative perceptions. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a step back and analyze whether the situation is inherently negative or if your mind is coloring it that way. This practice creates resilience, allowing us to approach challenges with clarity and composure. For example, imagine being stuck in traffic. You can perceive it as an unbearable frustration, or you can see it as extra time to listen to a podcast, reflect on your day, or practice patience. By mastering perception, we gain control over our emotional responses and ultimately our well-being. 9. Accepting mortality and living fully. One of the most powerful Stoic exercises is memento mori, remembering that we will die. To some, this may seem morbid, but to the Stoics, it was a call to live meaningfully. Seneca stated, "Let us prepare our minds as if we had come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day." By acknowledging our mortality, we strip away trivial concerns and focus on what truly matters. We stop procrastinating on our dreams, express love more freely, and act with purpose. Death is not something to fear, but a reminder that each moment is precious. When we live with the awareness that life is fleeting, we waste less time on grudges, meaningless distractions, and unimportant anxieties. To integrate this philosophy into daily life, reflect each morning on the fact that today could be your last. Ask yourself, if this were my final day, would I spend it complaining? Would I delay telling my loved ones how much they mean to me? Would I hold back from pursuing my passions? When we keep death in mind, we live more intentionally, appreciating every sunrise, every conversation, and every breath. 10. Embracing adversity as a path to growth. Life is filled with obstacles, but the Stoics saw these as opportunities rather than setbacks. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that challenges are not barriers to success. They are the very means by which we grow stronger. Every hardship, whether it be failure, rejection, or struggle, is a form of training. Just as a muscle grows through resistance, the mind and character develop through adversity. Instead of dreading difficulties, we should welcome them as teachers. A difficult boss, a financial setback, or a personal failure are not reasons to despair, but opportunities to practice patience, problem solving, and resilience. To practice this, reframe obstacles in a positive light. When facing difficulty, ask, what can I learn from this? How can this challenge make me stronger? By shifting our mindset, we turn setbacks into stepping stones and failures into growth. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the light bulb. He did not see these failures as defeats, but as necessary steps toward success. Like Edison, we can use adversity as fuel for our own progress. 11th, practicing self-discipline and mastery. Self-discipline is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Without mastery over our desires, impulses, and emotions, we become slaves to them. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." True freedom comes not from indulging every whim, but from having the strength to govern oneself. Discipline allows us to act according to reason rather than impulse. It helps us wake up early, maintain focus, resist temptations, and pursue long-term goals. Without discipline, our potential remains unrealized, and our aspirations remain dreams rather than realities. To cultivate self-discipline, start with small daily habits. Wake up at a consistent time, control your diet, exercise regularly, and practice moderation in pleasures. When faced with temptation, remind yourself that mastery over desires leads to a stronger, freer mind. A practical exercise is the cold shower method, choosing something slightly uncomfortable each day to build resilience. By regularly exposing ourselves to minor discomforts, we train our willpower and fortitude, preparing ourselves for greater challenges in life. 12. Cultivating inner peace through virtue. The ultimate goal of Stoicism is inner peace, an unshakable tranquility that arises from living virtuously. Seneca wrote, "A good character, a noble character, is the only guarantee of enduring happiness. True peace does not come from wealth, status, or external achievements, but from integrity, wisdom, and virtue." When we act in alignment with our values, we experience a deep, lasting contentment. Conversely, when we compromise our principles for fleeting pleasures, we suffer inner turmoil. To cultivate inner peace, practice honesty, kindness, courage, and self-reflection. Before making decisions, ask, is this aligned with my values? Will this bring me true fulfillment? By prioritizing virtue over short-term gains, we develop a profound sense of inner calm. A practical way to maintain this mindset is through evening reflection. Each night, review your actions. Did I live in accordance with my values today? What could I improve? By consistently aligning our actions with virtue, we build a foundation of lasting peace. Conclusion: the Stoic path to a meaningful life. Stoicism is more than just a philosophy. It is a way of life that transforms how we think, act, and respond to the world. By practicing gratitude, embracing impermanence, mastering our perceptions, and living virtuously, we cultivate resilience, wisdom, and inner peace. The Stoic path is not about eliminating hardship, but about learning to thrive despite it. It is about seeing challenges as opportunities, focusing on what we can control, and living each day with purpose. When we internalize these principles, we not only improve our own lives, but also become sources of strength and wisdom for those around us. As you move forward, remember, every moment is an opportunity to practice Stoicism. Whether in adversity or success, in solitude or society, the principles remain the same. Apply them daily, and you will find yourself living a life of greater meaning, strength, and fulfillment. These 12 lessons outlasted empires because they work. But here's the Stoic secret. Reading changes nothing. Action does. So I challenge you, pick one lesson today, just one, and test it against life's next storm. Then another. That's how steel is made. If this resonated, smash that like button. It tells the algorithm to spread this wisdom. Comment eudaimonia below if you're committing to one practice. And subscribe, we're just getting started. Until next time, the obstacle is the way.